This is Big Dink Energy, the pickleball podcast that's half insight, half nonsense, and all entertainment. If you love pickleball, don't take yourself too seriously and think a little trash talk makes the game better, welcome home. This is the place where life and pickleball intersect. We celebrate the chaos, call out the nonsense, and put the fun back in dysfunction. You're either in or you're out. And if you're still listening, you're in. So let's go. Big Dink Energy starts now. Looks like you made it back for another episode of Big Dink Energy. We're glad you're here listening to us. Listen, I've got Stephanie here. I've got the Paddle Princess here with me. Now, I've got to say something. I saw this come across the news, and I do know how I feel about it. I want to get y'all's take on it. Something that was bothering me. So apparently there's pickleball noise wars going on out there in communities.
I heard about that too.
HOAs,
yeah,
major or highfalutin, if you want to say, communities out there saying that the pickleball noise is too loud.
So it's a plastic ball, not a jackhammer.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
This lady was saying that she lives like 100 yards from the pickleball court, and that the sound of the pickleball court or the pickleballs going from 8 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. is causing her all this mental distress, and she claimed all of these crazy things.
That's ridiculous.
I feel that way too.
People have lived near trains and airports, construction sites for years. Like,
yeah,
I think there's just some people.
I mean, those are our people, but I'm talking about the HOAs, the gated communities, the Richie Riches, if you will. Those people are complaining because now, you know, with pickleball coming on as strong as it is, they're moving into different communities. They're turning old basketball courts into pickleball courts. Anywhere.
So it's the tennis players really that are complaining,
right?
Exactly.
I think
Shots fired.
I think there's just some people who wake up wanting to complain, like birds are too loud, the sun is too bright.
Well, I read an article online that said that Nantucket was considering actually banning pickleball.
I mean, okay, so that is Richie Rich and that Nantucket Island out there, that community. These are people who.
You know what rhymes with Nantucket?
No, tell us.
Bless them.
Yeah.
Right?
There's something wrong with you.
Just saying. I think it's ludicrous.
Mystical.
No, ludicrous.
Juvenile.
It's just.
Oh, I thought we were naming rappers that aren't
No,
around anymore.
it's stupid. Like, I don't even know why it's even a thing.
Like, it's a sport. Come on now. There are more important things to complain about in the world.
Basketball? Basketball sounds. The squeaking of the shoes.
I mean, we're hitting a wiffle ball with a paddle. How bad is it?
I know.
Listen, I'm just trying to get some cardio without having to run. That's what I'm trying to do.
Same.
Yeah.
Why are you out there, harshing my vibe with you talking and complaining and calling the police?
Calling the police.
I think, so what's the solution? Do we play with softer balls?
No, I think we just play
Nobody
them.
wants to play with softer balls.
Nobody wants softer
No
balls.
one's softball.
I say we just blare Frozen, Let It Go.
What about, I think how about we just lean into it more and we just make up sound effects of our own that are just a little bit louder, or we bring kids with us and make it louder than that. We bring a megaphone, we bring air horns.
We could bring a stereo and play Let It Go.
Yeah, and then you'll be.
We can have a whole cheer squad.
Yeah, and then
Let's do it.
you'll feel a lot better after we quiet that noise down.
Right.
You'll be like, oh, I wish they would just play pickleball.
Yep, that's what
Let's
you got
get ready
into.
to rumble. If we
Hey,
made an
Karen, how do you like that?
I think that's what I would do. I would just lean into it and make more noise just so they know what noise is.
Right, they don't know.
Yeah.
They have no clue.
Just need something to complain about.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just wanted to bring that up. I thought that was interesting when I saw that come across.
I think it's ridiculous.
It's time for Pickle Pal.
All right, we've come to this section of the podcast that I absolutely love. We're meeting the people and the things and the places that surround pickleball. And that's really what it's all about. It's about that community side of pickleball for us. And what better person to meet today than James with Side Out Coffee. Now, listen, I have an absolute passion and love for two things. One is coffee. The other is cigars. And I should probably throw my wife in there someplace as well. I'm not sure where she ranks it. It varies every single day. But coffee is always in the top 3 for sure. So, James, from Side Out Coffee, thanks so much for being on the Big Dink Energy podcast.
Thanks for having me, brother. Yeah, it's good to be here. This is my first podcast, participating in like the pickleball industry and stuff. And we're still pretty early, our company, but it's going really well. And I just really having a lot of fun with it, because it's just two things that I'm passionate about as well as coffee and pickleball. And I was already kind of living this lifestyle before starting this whole venture. I'm putting in ungodly hours, but it's pretty, I'm having fun.
Sure.
I'm having fun with it though,
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really what it is for us too, is it's so incredibly fun. I have other facets of my life that I get involved with. But the Big Dink Energy podcast and pickleball, it is fun, and it makes it easy to sit down and easy to do, and especially when I'm talking to guys like you. A lot of people may not know about your background. James and I connected over the military as well. James served in the Army, and we're so incredibly thankful for your service there, my friend.
Oh, same to you, man. Yeah, I guess it was about 2 years now. I sold my equity stake in my past company. I've been working in like the games industry. So like I was a pro World of Warcraft player for many years, and I was streaming on Twitch and doing this like content creator lifestyle. And I was building this company that I helped co-found called RXP Media. So we were selling like digital guides for World of Warcraft, and I was just basically like living, I was terminally online, I was really out of shape and, in some ways unhappy, in some ways happy, and it was time for me to move on from it. So I sold my equity stake in the company, and I joined a gym to try to like remember who I was before all that happened.
Right.
And, started losing weight, and I wanted to get back into tennis because I played tennis my whole life. It was like, it's been really like the only sport I've ever been good at. So I go out to these tennis courts, and they're pickleball courts. And I was first like, man, what is this?
Right.
Man, these Californians, these yuppie Californians, man, like what is this weird sport that they're doing here? And my mom of all people is like, you got to give it a shot. It's actually pretty fun. Like, you got to give it a shot. So she buys me some like Walmart paddle, and I go out there.
Nice. Wood paddle for sure. We all start there.
Yeah. And bro, I just fell in love with it. I mean, I think a lot of people, there's some memes on TikTok where they just hit a couple balls. You're like, man, it's pretty fun. It's something about like just the tactile feel of the ball and how it sounds and the feeling as it's coming off the paddle. And it comes naturally too, if you like racket sports.
Right.
So you kind of hit the ground running. But really like what sucked me in is the community.
Right.
I like feeling like I'm part of an up-and-coming community. I feel like the vibes are the most immaculate that they'll ever be. And for me, pickleball... that's great. It gave me that vibe, So everyone I'm meeting out there on the courts, like, they're moms and dads, and they're successful, and they're doing their things, and everybody has kids. I'm in my early 30s now, and, like, that's kind of, like, that new bracket of people you're interacting with, right? People who have homes and kids and all this. And I was really just enjoying it, like, just meeting other people that I looked up to, and... It all came together. Like we play a ton of pickleball, and our gym is Lifetime Fitness. So like they have a childcare component of it. So you get about 3 hours childcare per day. So that was the thing, you drop your kids off at daycare and you play 3 hours of pickleball. And that's how you get, that's how you get some sanity back per day, when you have toddlers and stuff. So if you notice with pickleball, it kind of goes in waves. So how it starts is a bunch of people, like a big wave starts playing pickleball together. And they start off at like 2-5, 3-0, and they start, getting better, and they start doing tournaments, like low-level tournaments, local tournaments, and getting better and better, 3-5, 4-0, 4-5, and they almost graduate out of like open play, and they graduate out of just like, day-to-day rec play once they get to about 4.5 level. And I saw that with my own friend group, and I see that continuing to happen, and just seeing new waves of people get into the game. But anyways, like I fell in love with the game, started doing a lot of tournaments and traveling around and taking it a little more seriously. So I did a bunch of APP stuff, PPA, MLP, WPT, and I probably did, I don't know, like 24 tournaments last year or something like that.
Wow.
And I realized while I was out there that there's not really an endemic coffee brand for pickleball yet. I mean, there's tons of energy drinks and stuff. So Monster owns Rain Energy, and they're giving away like crazy,
Right.
There's all types of that, but nothing really coffee related. And I'm a big, espresso guy. I've always had like a Breville at my house, pulling shots of that. And
nice.
When I'm on the road, if you're like a coffee person, like you crave good coffee, and like you really feel it, for at least for me, being away from my house. And so I'd have to like try to come up with little portable espresso solutions to try to make coffee on the road.
Right.
And it just kind of clicked like, hey, I think there's an opportunity to build something that's endemic to pickleball that's going to resonate with this community. So as I go to all these tournaments, it actually like you start seeing the same people over and over again at these tournaments. And you start to like get an understanding that this is a lifestyle. Like people are qualifying for nationals each year. They're flying out to wherever it is, Indian Wells or whatever. And you're doing the APP track or the PPA track, more amateur focused, more pro focused. And it's a really fun lifestyle. I like it a lot. And it's something I want to be able to like, pass down to my kids and stuff when they come of age and get them into like junior PPA stuff and all that. So I don't know. I want to me, it's very satisfying to be able to serve my community that I'm also part of. And most people drink coffee, right? So
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah, so that's kind of how it started. I started doing some home roasting. I bought a little drum roaster and having a ton of fun with it. And then just developed some partnerships and, passed the idea around my community of folks here in Northern California. And just like anything, it's like a company, a startup, it starts as a giant block of stone. And you just take your little chisel and you just chip away at this block of stone.
Yeah.
Every day you just do a little bit of chiseling. And then the statue is going to reveal itself, as it goes.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
And I like being able to develop these products and these services and stuff that bring a smile to people's face.
Yeah.
We have an event catering part of the business where we have a mobile cafe. It's basically it's a horse trailer that I just converted by hand. I just rolled my sleeves up and I converted the whole thing into like a mobile cafe essentially. So we do we do bubble waffles and we do a full espresso menu. And we pull up to these pickleball tournaments and our flagship latte is called the Golden Pickle, which is essentially just like a honey latte. You pull a shot of espresso, whip some honey
Nice.
into it. But just seeing the smile on their face when they come up and they ask what the Golden Pickle is, and they're taking pictures with our little cafe and they're tagging us and they're just like super stoked to see a pickleball like at its core, at its essence.
Yeah.
Endemically pickleball first, pickleball community first brand, providing them something that they like enjoy, right? Which is just like coffee or lattes or whatever it might be. Yeah, that brings me just a lot of like satisfaction. So that's the two sides of our business. We have this event catering business and we're booking up really fast. We're partnering with a lot of the local, clubs and gyms around here in NorCal. And then the goal with that is to secure vendor contracts with some of the larger guys like APP, PPA, whatever, and be able to pop up at all the different tour stops. So essentially being like the Starbucks of pickleball, you go to one of these tournaments and you're able to actually get, good coffee, specialty grade, small batch roasted coffee from your fellow pickleballers. I feel like that's like a meaningful thing. The person that's making that for you is your people. And, that's part of it. And then the other side is the e-commerce piece. So we're selling our beans on Amazon, on our site as well. And everything is roasted fresh to order, which is a thing that kind of separates us from some of the other guys out there that, if you placed an order right now, even just for one box of coffee, it would go into our production queue and we would just roast that small batch of coffee and it would have a roasted by date and it would all come out in one flow and get shipped out to your house, as opposed to buying something off the shelf in a Safeway or something that might have been roasted like a year ago,
That's the awesome part of what you guys bring to it, is being unique to pickleball and really caring about the flavors that you produce and how you're roasting. I mean, that's so critical to the community that surrounds pickleball. I love it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what's one thing about running a coffee business you wish you knew before you started?
God, there's so many things racing through my mind, man. Like there's so many things. Okay, so there's a certain percentage of people that are really bougie coffee drinkers and they love their coffee.
Yeah,
They're drinking light roast. They like the floral notes, the citrus. They like the different complex flavors that come through, and they're using, state-of-the-art espresso equipment when it comes to grinders, WDT tools, distribution tools, puck screens, and that's a very loud voice because they're very into coffee and people make content and they consume that content. But in reality, I didn't realize how small of a percentage of the coffee drinking base that is. It's basically like a fraction of 1%. The vast majority of America, especially like middle America, are not drinking espresso. They're drinking like percolator type coffee, K-cup, stuff like that. And they're drinking darker roasts, right? So dark roast is about 70% of your sales. I did not think that was going to be the case. And then about 25% or 20% is going to be medium roast. And then 5% is going to be your light roasts.
Yeah, I can remember back to my Army days, the coffee would come out if you were on a field exercise, you're out in a wartime environment, and you got some coffee. I think some of that stuff went through an actual diesel engine and then they brought it out and it was just hot enough. So you're just consuming it, right? You're just like, well, I'm not worried about the floral notes and all that kind of stuff. But then I think as you drink more coffee and you get to sit down and enjoy it, then obviously your palate taste change. So I wonder, maybe what you can do a little study on is as your duper score goes up, does your taste for coffee get more bougie?
Yeah, that's funny. Maybe. I mean, the general thing, I feel like it happens with liquor or wine or whatever. Like there's kind of there's levels to it, right? There's like a learning curve to it. And like you start out drinking, light beers
Mad
and stuff
Dog.
like that. You start graduating up into like the more hopsy, like IPAs and stuff. It's kind of the same thing with coffee. You kind of get into the game drinking that French roast, like that dark roast, bold flavor, really like traditionally that's what coffee's supposed to taste like, right? And then you start playing around with things and enjoying the taste of coffee more, and you get lighter and lighter with it, and you look for more taste. And generally, the darker the roast, the more it's going to taste more uniform, like one taste kind of.
So let me ask you, if you could set up one of your mobile cafes anywhere in the world for a day, where would you take it?
I think I would take it to the APP Fortress, I think they call it. I think it's the largest pickleball facility maybe in the world. It's 40 courts. It's somewhere in Florida. I think it might be Fort Lauderdale or something. But this past weekend was APP Sacramento. I was interviewing the CEO of it. They call him Ken Senior. His name's Ken Herman, and he's been around forever. Like they were around even before PPA. And he was telling me about it, that it's like this insane facility where it's just massive 40 court facility and like just tons of stuff to do.
Wow.
So I'd love to see that. I'd love to, go there one day and check it out.
Let's see if we can get some breaking news here. What's next for Side Out Coffee? What can we see in the future that maybe you're not ready to launch to everybody, but just on a tiny podcast, it doesn't mean anything to anybody. You're open to saying it.
No, totally, man. You're really good at this too. There is a lot of good news. So the cool thing is we're a coffee company that's doing, pickleball coffee. And it's kind of a weird thing. Probably in the next month or so, you'll see it. But one of the highest quality partners you can possibly have in the space. Let me tease at it a little bit. That you mentioned mentioned the ratings a minute ago, and as people's ratings go up, if their coffee tastes improve, well, you're going to be able to see that really clearly, possibly soon. So
yes, I love it.
Yeah. So and amongst other things too, like the pickleball community. I don't know if it's like this exactly where you live. I assume it is. I feel like it's one of the densest concentrations of just like decent, amazing human beings. Like people look out for each other, dude. Like it's not like It's not like normal society where I kind of feel like people are, cutting each other off and like, trying to scam each other and stuff. Like pickleball, maybe it's racket sports in general. Like it's so wholesome, man. People are looking out for each other.
Yeah.
They want to support each other. They're bringing out the best in each other. And I see, they rally around you. When you start a business in the pickleball community, like everyone's sort of like, oh, hell yeah. Like if I just started a coffee company and it had nothing to do with pickleball, I'd get, like my mom and my dad and a few people like, maybe excited to try it out. But because there's because it's pickleball in there. And I think because people have such a passion for the sport that people are just like rallying around it. You know what I mean? And that's so cool to see. So a lot of partnerships.
That's awesome. So you heard it here first. The only other community that's like that, you bring that up, the only other community I've seen and experienced like that, what you're saying, is the motorcycle community. It doesn't, if you're on the side of the road broke down, you'll have 18 bikes stop. They don't know you from anything. And they either have the part for you, they have the tool that you need, or they're going to go get it and bring it back to you. The community as a whole is just like pickleball, where they just rally around people. I want you in. I want you on the court. I want you to dink in. I want to show you what it's all about. I want to expose this whole world to you. There's no gatekeeping in pickleball, and I absolutely love it.
Yep.
Okay, so you've got subscriptions. You've got energy mixes, right? And then obviously the coffee. So let's make sure people know everything that they can get at Side Out.
Yeah. So our website is sideoutcoffee.com. All of our social medias are the same thing. Like our main one that we push on is Instagram, and we do a few reels per day, and just, we do live streams at night where we're just playing pickleball like you guys. We're just living the same lifestyle. You probably, if you're a pickleball player, but we're just over here in Northern California. Yep. If you order from our website, everything you order will be roasted fresh to order.
That's big time.
But we have instant coffee, we have K-cups, we have whole beans, we have ground beans. Our instant coffee is kind of interesting because it's not like the typical coffee crystal mixes that you get at the store. It's freeze-dried espresso concentrate. So we take our own beans, grind it up, pull the shot of espresso, and then we freeze-dry it. So like basically when you add hot water to it, it just like turns it back into espresso. And you can have it as instant coffee. So it's a bit more of a premium instant coffee experience.
Like an Americano.
Yeah, like an Americano, yeah. And then we have these energy powders that you brought up as well. And the reason for that is essentially like we want to provide different strokes for different folks. And actually the number one demographic playing pickleball now is Gen Z. So it's quickly turning into a young person sport. Somehow it's gone viral with the young kids. I don't really know how that happened, but you go out to your local courts, you see it more and more with each day, right? Like big groups of young kids playing. Those younger kids are more into the energy drinks. They're more into like pre-workouts and things like that. And they don't really, aren't really brewing their own coffee and stuff. They'll go to Starbucks and buy something. So we have that for those people. And then also like even for older people too, like these are really small little compact tubs of energy powder. You can throw them in your pickleball bag. And if you're at a tournament or something, or if you're fatiguing out and you need like another little burst of energy, you can just mix it up just like any other pre-workout. And it's a pretty clean mix. It's 200 milligrams of clean, all natural caffeine from green tea. We got some amino acids in there to help you and stuff like that. And then also, if you're a tournament organizer, if you're a tournament director, and we're somewhat near you, like in California or select parts of Arizona, reach out because we might be able to cater your event. We might be able to bring hot coffee, a full espresso menu, and iced coffee too, and these bubble waffles available in different flavors. So that's been a bigger part of the business than I even thought it was going to be, man. Like they're essentially these little honeycomb shaped waffles, and they're soft, airy, and but crispy at the same time. So we offer them in a variety of flavors: matcha, ube, chocolate chip, plain, cinnamon, and then a bunch of toppings and stuff like Nutella, condensed milk, things like that. So we bring that courtside to you in our little mobile cafe, and that's like the event catering side of our business as well.
Man, so much going on at Side Out. That's awesome. All right, so I got to ask, you guys are pulling up, trailers open, we're ready to start, brewing some coffee and handing it out. What's the soundtrack that's playing in the background? What's the song?
Yeah, it depends on the vibe. So if it's a morning event, you go a little bit more. I like some country music playing, or maybe even some like jazz or classical type of music, because the vibe is a little bit, it's not that super high energy vibe quite yet. But we do Friday Night Lights once a month over at Johnson Ranch. It's a Spare Time Club, which is a huge nighttime event where it's a younger demographic. People are coming out and they're looking for that, a little bit of nightlife and energy. So with that, we'll start playing, some hip hop, some pop, a little more high energy, high tempo. We love it all, man.
So everybody, please go find my friends at Side Out Coffee. And you said sideoutcoffee.com is where everybody goes and connects, and they get on the Instas and all that kind of stuff. You're going to love what they bring to you. Get into the subscription service with them too. Get that just dropped right to your house. That way you're not struggling for coffee at your house. James, so thankful for you. I mean, big guy in the industry. You're head of the company. Thanks for taking time with us today.
Thanks so much.
This is the segment where we talk about something that we want to adopt, something we want to say, yes, this is a good thing, or something we want to throw out or get rid of, or just say no, thumbs down. We want to destroy it. So dink or destroy. Steph, you said you had something.
I do. So I would like to bring up joint email and then also joint Facebook accounts between spouses.
Oh, okay. So I see a Facebook page and it's like John and Mary Smith.
Yeah.
And it's them in a loving embrace in their profile picture. That's what you're talking about?
Yeah. I feel like nothing says this relationship has been through some stuff.
Right.
Yeah. When I'll tell you, my first thought is, who cheated?
Yeah.
When I see it, I'm like, okay, which one of you cheated?
Yeah.
Which one of you hooked up with one of your high school sweethearts? They found them on Facebook.
Right.
You went to your old high school page and logged in and you saw Susie there and you remember, that night under the bleachers. I mean, I don't know how it goes. I'm spitballing.
To me, I have one of three takes. Either somebody cheated, the man's a complete narcissist and has to control every single thing that she's doing.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Or three, I have seen this in much more elderly couples. So like my dad has several friends who they have a joint Facebook account and they're in like their 70s. And I think mainly it's just because one, they probably don't realize how to use it. And so
they can only remember one password.
Yeah. So my dad has one friend and he's always on there.
I'm sorry your dad has one friend. That's
he has
sad.
one friend who has a joint Facebook account. Him and his wife have a joint Facebook account. And anytime she comments on something, she'll be like, this was a great picture. Love Martha. And then he'll say, love John.
I mean, I guess that's kind of helpful, but it's like,
I
am I talking to John? Am I talking to Lisa?
Right.
Am I taking you to dinner? Whose birthday is it? Like,
right. You don't know who to say happy birthday to.
Is like John, or it's like, I don't know. I think it's weird. I feel like, is it John and Lisa, or is it just Lisa low-key spying on John? Right?
Yeah, and it is really, I get that side of it. I didn't think about it from the older, more seasoned generation. I didn't think about it from that perspective. That makes a lot of sense. From that perspective, I can probably accept it.
Okay, take boomers off the table.
Okay, people who should not be buying unripened bananas, that age.
Or like who have a lot of, expired Kohl's cash or something.
Good Lord.
Hey, that's me.
I think it's just...
Is Kmart still open?
Hey, I love Kmart.
I think it's just, it's free. So there's no reason to we have to do this together and it'll save $20 a month. I get that if you want to share your Netflix.
They're bundling.
But it's like, it's not some sacred digital
I got to bundle my social media.
You don't need to bundle it, I just feel like, what happened?
Yeah.
Who is in internet jail?
Yeah, and it is right. It's in the picture. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the ones I see, it's always them in the loving embrace. Mm-hmm. Their hips are together. They're holding each other, and for some reason they're always on sand in ankle deep water. I don't know.
and it's like they probably have their dog, and it's like Ann Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
they have to prove something to everybody on the internet.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, no offense to you
Not
all out there
you,
listening.
listeners.
Not you guys. Someone you know for sure, though. Not you, John and Tammy.
I don't really see it like on Instagram. I mean, maybe they do and we don't know their handle, but I feel like it's just email and Facebook. And I think email...
That's the weirdest. No, the email's got to be the weirdest.
Okay, my husband and I have a joint email account.
Oh my Lord.
We do. It's his name, my name, and then the...
loser.
No. The year that we met.
Of course,
but on that is all of our household stuff. So that goes like all of our mortgage information, all of our car information, our car insurance.
It's free to forward.
It's bills. But that way it just goes to all at one place, so we know exactly where to look if we have a question on something
this
household
is like a bills
related
account. It's not like the email you send out.
Healthcare, like all of our healthcare records go under that email address.
So take that off the table. Boomers off the table. Bills off the table.
Okay. Yeah.
This is an email like you're responding to friends. You're getting dinner invites. You're I didn't invite
Mary
you, John.
Steve.
I invited Mary, and now you're
Right.
replying, and I'm just a little pissed. I don't know who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like it.
I think in
It's a
that
destroy.
aspect, it's weird.
Destroy from me.
Oh, all right.
I
What
don't
do you got,
like
Paddle
it.
Princess? Uh-oh.
I mean, seeing as I have one.
Yeah, but not in the way we're talking about.
No, in the aspect that you're bringing it up, I would say it's absolutely a destroy, because it's also one of those things where it's like who cheated or who's a narcissist. So in there, you obviously see that there's some kind of relationship problems when you're using it socially. So I would say destroy on that factor.
And the other thing is, like, do you just keep marking it unread? Like, Guy, if we had one together, like, I read it, so I'm like, unread. Now you read it, and you're like, but I don't know if she read it unread. And it's like, how many times do you do that before you're like, did you get the dinner invite?
And then you screenshot it and send it to somebody,
like,
and then they're like, I already saw it.
Get AOL, Prodigy. I don't care what you use, but don't be together.
Yeah, and yeah.
Does AOL still exist?
And I don't really want to make sure.
Hotmail?
Does Hotmail still exist?
Here's the
AOL?
thing. Here's the thing. When
Sorry.
I'm getting my LimeWire updates, I don't want. No, it's a destroy for me. I'm all the way out on that. You know that. If you asked me to do one now, I would not do it with you, no matter what happened in our life. And I'm definitely not getting ankle deep water at the beach to take a picture with you. So definitely a destroy for me.
All right, 3 destroys.
One of the things that we're not destroying is dinking balls. Dinking balls, you think your game's good enough for boring balls? Think again. Dinking balls is here to spice up your court time. USAPA standard, built for laughs and designed for players who know the best games are about the fun and not the trophies. And listen, every purchase supports the military and first responders. So your balls should make a difference, always, on and off the court. Stop playing with bland balls. Go to dinkingballs.com. Get yours today. That's DINKN balls.com. Dinkin' balls. Play with confidence, even if you shouldn't. Let's get back to the program. We love Dinkin' balls.
They're awesome.
Boop, boop.
Found, heard, and learned.
This is where we kind of clue you into something from our week or the past couple of days, something that we found, something that we learned, and something that we heard, a little bit of life that we want to give back to you that maybe you didn't find, learned, or heard out there. So, Stephanie, you said you've had something that you found.
I'm so excited about this one. I found a pickleball set at Dollar Tree.
No.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's one paddle and one ball.
But it's not $1.
It's $1.25.
store.
Right.
And they have a section
mislabeled.
of the $5. They even have a better one. Does not come with dinking balls, but I did get one, and on our socials, we're gonna play. We're gonna play.
Yes.
We're gonna see how well
test
it
them out.
works. We're gonna test it out.
It's so fun.
I will tell you, we'll put a picture out, but they don't look all that great. However,
Say it isn't so.
However, what a low barrier. Like anybody, just grab some of these and just go and try, and then
I
you'll
love
like
that.
it.
Well, yeah,
Then
pickleball's
you
already
can
a
go-
lower barrier, so let's lower it even further.
Right,
That's
but
awesome.
now you can get the kids playing with it, because they used to have the plastic red bats and balls that they keep in the net. It comes
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And grab it. Your kids can play out in the front yard on the
You
So-
don't have to worry about them losing an expensive
Right.
paddle
And then
or
they get-
breaking it.
Then they get like, oh, I like this. Just like when the kids get the baseball and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
they play, and then they end up liking it. So I think it's great I'm sure it's made for children, because it comes in that tight
Right.
bag, like the beach,
Yeah,
what
I
are
know
those
what you're
things
talking
called?
about.
Beach tools. So I think it's great. I'm excited that it's coming out like
I
that.
think that it's interesting how it's gone from, you can go from very elite to very, very basic. It leaves room for everybody.
Yeah, and then you like it, and you're like, oh, I actually like this. Now I'm going to go get a
you'll
better paddle,
upgrade.
and I'm going to get dinking balls, and I'm going to upgrade my life of pickleball.
Yeah, upgrade your life with
Upgrade your life.
$1.50
Do
of
it.
pickleball.
So that's what I
Here's-
found.
Okay, well, I like it because now I'm thinking about sponsorships. Can I get a Dollar Tree sponsorship to play with their stuff on the court? Listen, Dollar Tree, if you're listening, I'm going to go all green for you. I'm all the way in. You
Hey,
want to
maybe it's a
sponsor
dupe.
me? I'm going to put the tree on everything. I'm going to be dinking trees over here. Dollar Tree, you want to reach out and sponsor me? I'm all about it. But yeah, I can't wait to play with those. Those are going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, for me, I've got to learn this week. The one thing I learned, and it was a revelation to me, I didn't know this much about it, but the average pickleball game burns the same amount of calories as a 3-mile run.
I can believe it, because I wear my Apple Watch, and I'm like, holy cow, the Stairmaster didn't do that much for me.
Way more
Yeah,
fun,
same.
obviously.
Way more fun.
I can believe that. And I also read it the other day as well. And the last time that we played, and I looked at my Apple Watch at the end, and it was like, the last time I did an hour-long workout where I worked my butt off, I did not burn this many calories.
Mostly from chasing the balls around the court, though, right? The
Yes.
distance we have to travel on some of these courts to get to the balls. But here's the thing for me, and I'm going to start putting this on all my personal socials, not our joint social, is I'm an endurance athlete now. Obviously,
Yes.
I'm a high caliber athlete now, but I'm just doing 3-mile runs every time I'm out there.
So is there a pickleball high, like a runner's high?
I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, so listen, here's the thing. If you see me out there playing pickleball, I'm training for that pickleball marathon, 26.2, baby. I'm coming all the way. I mean, there's a ton of matches and dinking you got to do for 26 miles, but I'm committed
that's a
to
lot.
it. I'm committed to it. And I can only imagine with the Dollar Tree paddles,
Even better.
sky's the limit. I'm an endurance athlete now. Again, anybody that wants to sponsor me, I'm an endurance athlete. Just bring it on.
Nice learned. I like that.
Yeah, it was interesting.
All right, Paddle Princess.
Paddle Princess bringing up the rear, as they say, with something that she heard.
All right. So what I heard about was a game of pickleball that is called Around the World Pickleball. And it's the fastest rotating game ever. So basically, players will form a giant circle around the court and rotate after every shot. If you miss, you're out. The last two standing play 1v1 showdown. It's really good for large groups, and it keeps everyone moving and laughing so that nobody's sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah, so that's really similar, I think, to Queen of the Court, what they do in volleyball.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
So since my daughter plays volleyball, they do that. And they have like 3 people out there, and then they hit the ball and they hit the ball. And if that side doesn't get the ball, then they like run and switch. And it's
fun.
it's a nice fast pace. That sounds really fun.
I
It
like
sounds
that.
fun, but we'd have to have I think we would have to
We
have
don't
a
have
lot
enough
of people.
friends.
I know. We need to meet some more people. Anybody want to come join us and
I
try
don't
this
think it'd be
around the
fun
world?
with us 3. Like switch.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a little bit difficult initially, but I know we're going to make friends. That's what we're all
I think
about.
our kids would get annoyed if we had them all like running around the court the whole time.
But not, being in the corporate world for a little bit that I was, now I'm thinking about team building events.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, that would
That's
be
a
so
great
much
idea.
fun.
Yeah, so
We
you
could
guys,
use it at our
Yeah,
at
that
our
would be
business.
perfect.
You guys could use it at your business. I'm thinking about, for those that don't know, I used to work for Walmart Logistics, the warehouse side, not the blue smocks up front. And So we would have major offsite team events, and we'd have 30, 40 managers out there. So now I've got a way to introduce my endurance sport to people who are uninitiated.
This is a way to amp up your endurance.
Yes.
Imagine how much more calories you're going to burn if you're constantly running around the pickleball court.
And what was it called? Around the World?
Yes, Around the World Pickleball.
So fun.
I love it.
I'm going to have to go.
Find friends.
I know. We need to go find some people to join us to try this out.
Yeah, super cool. I love it.
Awesome. Well, very good. Well, hey, thanks for joining us on this another episode of the Big Dink Energy Podcast. I did say Big Dink Energy Podcast. We're so glad you're here. Don't forget that you can roast your friends with You've Been Served. Go find that on our page as well. That's it for this episode. Unless you've got something to say, think we got it wrong, have a better take, we want to hear it. Find us at bdepodcast.com or at BDE Podcast on the socials. Drop us a message. We might just feature you in the next episode. If you had a good time, well, samesies. If not, maybe try again. We grow on people. So you know the deal. Follow the show, tell a friend, and leave us a review. Or just pretend this never happened. Until next time, keep the dinks soft and the energy big.